Did you grow up in the early 2000s? Were you into gaming? If so, you probably remember one of these two. The console that sold over 150 million units that is still played to the day. Today, we're talking about the good old PS2 and its position in gaming in 2021. First of all guys, I'm trying to niche my channel down to what I love, which is retro gaming, so if you are also interested on retro gaming and looking forward to more videos like this, maybe leave a like and subscribe. Now, on with the video. So, what do you actually need to play the PS2 in 2021? First of all, you need a TV. Most of you have one of these. Then, you need one of these PS2 to HDMI dongles you can buy on Amazon for as low as 8 euros. I'll explain why later. Of course, you need your memory cards and your controllers. And last but not least, you need your console. If you got a PS2 back in the day, it probably came with these cables. If you have those, you might as well just keep them in case you need them. If you don't, throw them in the trash. Why, you ask? You see, the PS2 was released in the 4th of March of 2000, and back in the day, most people had CRTs. You know, CRTs, those big blocks you probably have sitting around on your garage if you have a modern day TV. Nowadays, most people have HD TVs, and the quality of those cables on HD TV is not that good. And that is why you want the PS2 to HDMI dongle. This is a dongle you hook up to the back of your PS2, connect it with a little USB cable to the same PS2 to give it power, and then with HDMI to the TV you want to use. For it to work, you also need to change the setting inside the PS2 from RGB to YPBPR. What this small dongle does is it upscales the old resolution of your PS2 to match the current TVs, giving you a way more clear image. It's not perfect, but it's much more playable, and the cheap solution for an HD resolution that will much more suit nowadays type of gaming audience. Fun fact before we go to the next part of this video. Most people back in the day actually bought PS2s not for the purpose of playing games, but actually to play DVDs. Back in the day, DVD players were not that cheap, and the PS2 was an all-around solution that could play video games and play DVDs at the same time, so why not grab one at the time? Now, we're going to talk about its main purpose, which is playing video games. Its library of games is the strongest of every console in existence. The PS2 has a library of over 1850 games, which are still really good as of today. And I'm talking games that people nowadays still know and talk about. Games that started on the PS2 and still have sequels to the day. I'm talking Final Fantasy X, Lego Star Wars the video game, Ratchet & Clank 1, 2, 3, Gladiator and Size Matters, Jak and Daxter 1, 2, 3 and X, Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 3, GTA San Andreas, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Need for Speed and Shrek. You get where I'm going. There is something for everyone on the PS2. There are typical sports games, some of the best platformers of the last 2 decades with a good story and franchise like Ratchet & Clank and Jak and Daxter, open world experiences, RPGs and racing games. Someday in the future I'll make my top 10 list of what I think are the best games on the console, but for now, let's talk about another thing you need to have in consideration when buying a PS2. Both PS2s are good, but unless you have a lot of money to spend, you probably just want one. Both of them can run all games, and the HDMI adapters work just fine. But there are some things that make them different from each other. The PS2 Fat is the classic PS2. It's bulky, takes a lot of space, and makes more noise than the Slim one. But it has a hard drive bay that you can mod so you get a lot of space in it. The PS2 Slim, on the other hand, is well, slim, it makes less noise, usually costs less, and gets you less problems and noise than the Fat one. If for collecting purposes, I would tell you to just get both. They are both good and good collectibles. But if you're looking just to revisit some of your childhood games and have fun, I'd definitely say the Slim one is the way to go. And also, there is a pink one. Now, PS2 consoles and games don't sell officially anymore at retail stores. If you want one, you'll have to buy it secondhand unless you want to pay a big sum for the one that is sealed. You can usually get one on your local resale markets, Facebook markets and eBay for around 50 euros. Usually, some people even sell them with lots of games, so if you're collecting, that's a great bonus. Just be careful when buying one. Depending on the region you are, make sure your PS2 is the same region as the games you're buying, as your console will only play the games for its specific region. You can check which region your PS2 is from on the bottom sticker of it. NTSC UC is for Canada and US, NTSC J is for Japan, and PAL for European regions, which is the one I have. As for the games, they are not that expensive. You can get PS2 games, and some of the best, for as low as 3 or 4 euros. Just search your local markets, know the gaming community around you, and try to look for good deals on eBay. If you are in Europe, there is a site I can recommend called uk.webuy.com, which is a company that basically works as GameStop but in Europe. You can sell your own games or buy used games and consoles for cheap prices there. I'll leave the link in the description. The things I just told you can be a huge bummer if you don't have the money for them or you are just not willing to spend money on old consoles. If you're one of those people, you can always try emulation. The best PS2 emulator I know of is PCSX2. You can download it from the official emulator site, I will link down in the description. The PS2 in 2021 is still a valuable part of gaming. Heck, I still play it to the day. I think on a day and age where we are all forced to stay home, why not take the time to get to revisit some old games and have fun completing them? The almost 21-year-old console is still strong going with huge collecting value to the day that will only rise in time with Sony releasing PlayStation consoles every 5 or 6 years. If you ever feel like knowing the origin of what you're playing today and touch some of the last 2 decades masterpieces, a PS2 is the way to go. So this has been it, guys, the first episode of Retro Gaming 101. I hope you guys learned something or I convinced you to buy a PS2 or at least learn more about it. If you liked this content, feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more in the future. This has been the Retro then, and I'm out.